Hey, this is Steve with Dabble Lab. Welcome to, where are we? Day 3 of 5 on the live stream for building Alexa skills. For anybody that was here the first couple of days, welcome back. For anybody who's new, welcome. We are going today to, let me switch over here. We're going to, first we're going to just start with a recap of what we talked about yesterday. Where am I? Here we go. So quick recap yesterday. We did an intro to the Alexa Skills Kit CLI, and we also looked at the Alexa Skills Kit SDK 2.0, and we talked.
I'm not sure.
Okay. And we talked about coding intent handlers, and we created a couple of handlers in our example application that we started building, which is, or example skill rather, which is a skill for freeCodeCamp that we're hoping to use as a live example, but we'll see how it goes. And then toward the end of yesterday, we started working on wiring up some code to call an external API, and specifically what I was trying to do was to get a list of the articles that are posted on the freeCodeCamp Medium site, and ran into an issue, so we didn't finish that up. But that's a good segue into what we're going to do today, because we're going to talk about debugging. So I'm going to just pick up where I left off yesterday, bugs and all, and try to continue on from there. So today we're going to do an intro to debugging to start it out, and then we're going to talk about the skill manifest, and we're going to end today with a discussion on beta testing, and hopefully provide anybody that wants to do this an opportunity to test the skill in test mode on their end. And I am also, I didn't do this, but I meant to set up a GitHub repo for this stuff today. So I'll do that before tomorrow. So anybody that wants to pull the code will be able to do that. So let's get into it. If let me go back to where we left off exactly yesterday. So if you recall from yesterday, if you were on, if you weren't on, let me just walk through what we did quickly yesterday, and then I'm gonna start with testing the skill, and we're gonna get the same error, and then I'm gonna go through how we would go about debugging that error. So yesterday we created, let's see, where we left off was this recent articles intent handler. And this is where I was getting the error. So I was trying to use this npm module to pull a JSON feed from Medium, and was getting an error. So let's just let me just get back over here, and we'll start where we left off. So let's see, I did so I'm gonna redeploy the Lambda function, and let's see, so Alexa, open freeCodeCamp. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp. Okay.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Medium articles?
Sorry, I can't understand the command.
Okay.
Please say again.
Okay, so this is the error that we are getting, Alexa stop. And I'm gonna...
Sorry, I can't understand the command. Please say again.
Alexa stop.
Goodbye.
So I want to show you a couple of different ways. We could do a whole, well, maybe not a week, maybe a week on just debugging and error, working through errors. So I'm going to just touch on a couple of the easiest or the most straightforward ways to go at it. So with the new SDK, when an error is thrown, like I'm using in this here using promises, and when an error occurs somewhere in here, it triggers this. There's like an error handler, this error handler down here, and by default with this template that we used, it just says this: sorry, I can't understand the command, please try again. What I do sometimes, I mean, it's just kind of a cheat, but while I'm developing, you wouldn't want to do this in a live skill, but I'll just do something like this. And this way, I'm going to redeploy the Lambda function. This way, when the error occurs, it's going to, I'm going to be able to hear what the error message was. And this can be a quick hack to quickly figure out without digging through the logs what's going on. But Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Medium articles.
The error is, could not find handler that can handle the request. Type, intent request, requested, Amazon 1.echo API.request.1A7162D6A59D46.
Alexa, stop. So you got that. So that wasn't actually the error that I thought we were getting, but let me try something else. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp. That error, it just
Hello, welcome to
didn't
the
find
freeCodeCamp skill.
the utterance.
I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Medium posts.
The error is assignment to constant variable.
Okay, Alexa, stop. So from that,
The error is assignment to constant variable.
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
From that, I can guess what the problem is, but I want to show you how else you would get to it. So you can go through and look at the logs for the Lambda function, and you can also see in the code here. Let's see. In the error function, you see by default it logs to the console, and so if you go into your Lambda function and then go to monitoring, and then from here jump out to the logs, and this is loading, taking a second. While this is loading, I'm going to read some of the comments. Which IDE I'm using? The IDE I'm using is Visual Studio Code. You can go to code.visualstudio.com to grab that. It's open source, and I like it a lot. Why does it always say freeCodeCamp skill? I'm not sure I understand that question. Can you, Karthik? Can you try to clarify that? Let's see. Okay, back to this, and I'll come back to that. So in here, a lot of times what I'll do is just go to text because it's easier to read, but in here I can see that error that got written out, error handled here, and then assignment to constant variable. So I've got an error, it's a JavaScript error. I'm trying to reassign a value to a constant. So I should have declared the variable with something other than const. And if you're not familiar with JavaScript, there's actually, if you go to, well, there's a lot of tutorials on freeCodeCamp's YouTube channel. And then I did one also that's sort of in the context of doing Alexa development, and if you go to youtube.com/dabblelab, there's a Node.js, intro to Node.js for developing Alexa skills, and the first video, or first or second video, I think, talks about variables. And so let's go see where that problem is. So in this handler here. Yeah, so here's the problem. So I declared this speech text as a constant, and I'm trying to reset the value of that constant down here. And that, I think, is probably what's causing the issue. But let's see. So right now, just for testing, what I'm doing here is grabbing the very first record. So it's an array that comes back of posts, medium posts, and I'm just trying to grab the title from the first one. So let's redeploy this and see if that fixes it. Yeah, that's I see what you're asking now about why it keeps saying free code camp. That's just this here. This could be anything. Yeah. In fact, you had some I'll say Phoenix. You had some really good suggestions for content tomorrow's or yesterday. So I think we're gonna grab some of those and use them to clean this up in a little bit. So let's test this now that that's all deployed. So Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Medium articles.
How I built a job scraping web app using Node.js.
Okay, so now it's working. Now we got the array from Medium, and we got the first item in the array, and we got the title. So we'll need to clean this up and respond with something a little more meaningful to the user. But we've got at least the bones of the code working. So I'm gonna leave that for right now and transition to, I want to try to, by the end of the day today, and I jumped around in my plan, I recapped what we talked about yesterday, but I didn't really get into everything that I want to talk about today. So so today I want to get into, like I said, debugging, which we just started talking about, and the skill manifest in beta testing. But I'd like to also clean the skill up a little bit, so it's less hacked together and a little more polished. So we'll do that today as well. Coming back over here, the last point I want to make on debugging, and this is like super simple debugging, is you can debug in the console through developer.amazon.com also, and let me show you that. So well, actually through the AWS console, but I'm going to get the request. I'm going to get the request from inside the Alexa developer console. Let me just grab that real quick and I'll show you here. Okay, so in here, and I'm not, although you can test, we talked about this on the first day, you can test in here. But what I'm doing right now is I'm not really going in here to test as much as I'm going in here to get the example of a request, and then I'm going to use that to test. while my internet is running really slow or something here. Okay. So now I didn't get the error here because we fixed it, but what I'm doing is I'm just copying this request JSON here. The other way that I could test is I could go over here to the function, and I think I talked about this on the first day actually too. So this might be a review, but just in case. So here in the Lambda function, you can go test, and then paste the JSON in here, and I'm going to create that as a test, and then I can run the test here, which right now it's going to succeed, so nothing's going wrong. But if I change this back and recreate that that error, which was, where was it? Show you the last piece of testing here. So, okay, so I'm redeploying the Lambda now, but I'm really just redeploying it to recreate that error. And like I said, I mean, there's better ways. We could do a whole course on testing than what I'm showing you right now, but this is the quickest way to get started with it. So if I run the test now, I get the response back, but I can also go down here and I can see that console log info here. So without having to dig through the log files. So that's just another way to quickly figure out what's going on if you're getting errors as you're doing developing. So three different ways. You can go through the CloudWatch log files. For the Lambda function, you can use simulate a test, like use an example request, or you can, the third way, and the first way that we talked about is in the error intent handler, you can just wire this up to read back the message, the error message that's coming in. You can usually figure out what's going on from that. Again, you don't want to leave that in there when the skill goes live, but three different ways to go at it. All right, any questions at this point before I move on? Let me read real quick here. Yeah, so it looks like Karthik's got the questions covered. Thank you, Karthik. Okay, all right, well, let's keep rolling. Let's keep moving on. So the next thing I want to do is I want to clean this up a little bit. We're doing fine on time. We're just at 20 minutes into it, so we've got some time. Yesterday we had a lot of really good suggestions that you guys provided for some things that we could add to it, and I tried to make some notes from the log, and some of the things that some of the ideas that came back were, I think, just clean up the intro altogether. So I'm going to use this was provided by Phoenix, who's on right now. So I think we want to include this, something that says what is freeCodeCamp. And then a lot of these ideas, I think we could boil into just sort of FAQ kind of functionality. And so I think that's probably the way to handle all of the, not all of them, but most of them. Some of them, though, like how many hours of content are on YouTube, This one, the answer is variable because that'll be changing. So we'll probably want to figure out how to get that from an API if we did that. And the multi-turn dialog, we're going to do this. I am thinking that we will probably get to that on. Here's my plan for the rest of the week. So day 4 we'll get into using slots and custom slots, and we'll do that in entity resolution. So I'm going to save the FAQ, adding the FAQ for tomorrow, because I think we can do a whole day on that. And then day 5, which will be Friday, this Friday, we'll talk about using multi-turn dialogues. And then also, I think talking about saving information to DynamoDB is something that we ought to cover. And then this certification process, if we have the skill ready and it's okay with freeCodeCamp, maybe we can actually submit it for certification. I thought maybe we could do that today. I don't think we're going to be able to do that, but what we can do is the beta test. And so we'll go through that process right now, actually. So we talked about debugging. The skill manifest is the next thing that we're going to talk about right now. So in the developer council, when we went through this on day 1, we talked through creating the interaction model and providing all of the skill configuration information through the web browser. But all of this can be configured as part of your skill project, and it is, all of the details are in this file here. For the, well, most of them are. Like we talked about, the invocation name and the model stuff is in here, but the details for the skill are in here. And the example that is provided with the default template, the greeter template that is what we started with, doesn't provide everything that you would need to complete the submission if you were going to submit it for certification. But I've got that in, well, actually any one of the, if you use one of the templates from skilltemplates.com, we've added those in there. So the skill.json, so for example, the icon URLs, and I'll just grab these for right now just to show you. And we'll also need, just as an example, so in the documentation you can get an example of all of the different options that are available here for the manifest file, the configuration stuff, or you can use most of what's required, at least for custom skills, is in, actually all of what's required for custom skills is in the startup template examples, so you can use those as well. And the repo will be on GitHub. I meant to put it out there today for this code, but I'll definitely have it out by tomorrow. Let's see. And this privacy and compliance stuff here we need. Which isn't included, I guess, for obvious reasons. You need your own privacy policy and everything. So now, and then of course we would want to go through here and finish up the summary, short description, and we'll say skill for freeCodeCamp. I'm sure somebody can come up with something better than this. And then for the example phrases, we want to update this too. And I'll say, what do we ask freeCodeCamp for recent Medium posts. And ask freeCodeCamp for, what was the other one we were going to do? Let's see. Let's go back to our dialogue notes from yesterday. Ask freeCodeCamp what the most recent videos are. And yeah, then we would want a more detailed description. All of this stuff is what is going to show up in the public skill store. So when a user goes and searches for skills in the Alexa companion app or in the skills store, they're going to show up here. So well, let me just grab Jeopardy to show you. So this is the skill name here, you can see, and then the example phrases are what's showing up here. And then the longer description is this here. All right, that is what we're setting up in here. So once this is all configured, and keywords are in here too. So there's more than what I'm going to do, but just for time today, I'm not going to go out and or I'm not going to fill all this out. But you would want to before you publish it live. But we're going to go ahead and deploy this. And this time I'm not going to use the -T because I do want to deploy the changes to the skill and rebuild the interaction model. So let me use the full deploy. Yeah, any ideas for what we ought to include in the skill? Keep those coming out. Go through tomorrow and pull out new ideas, and we'll try to get as much of this in as we can. And that'll be maybe there will be a little bit of time today. I don't want to spend time just updating content because I want to save as much time as we can for actually doing some coding stuff. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how to set up beta testing for a skill. And then for anybody that has an Echo that would like to beta test this, I have a, let's see, had a URL to a Google form. Let me grab that real quick. And I'll post that in the comments. So if you want to, you can just provide your email address, and I'll invite you to beta test it, so that you can test it on your Echo if you want to do that. Okay, so now that it's all deployed, let's go back over here and take a look at the changes. Okay, so we're going to go over here to certification, and And the certification process, we're not going to go live yet. But what we are going to do is, and this has changed just a little bit, so this functional test looks new. Okay, so this is different. That isn't what I wanted. That isn't what I wanted. Let me withdraw that. What I wanted was the okay, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on there. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Median articles.
The error is assignment to constant variable.
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
Okay. Yeah, so this stuff was set with the manifest in here, and used to be that, like, very recently, okay, it looks like this is letting me withdraw it. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna come back to this because something's changed here. It used to be that you could send it through beta test, and I'm not seeing that now, so I need to figure out why. So let's here's our icons came through this time, which is good. All right, I'm going to come back to that. Let's keep going here. I'm not sure where that went. I'm guessing it's probably been moved, but I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so I guess we've still got time. So why don't we just go ahead and move into some of what I wanted to talk about on day 4, and we will talk about using slots. How about we do that? All right. The distribution tab. All right. Let me go back to this. Oh, I see. I didn't finish this up. Okay, here's what I was looking for. All right. So the beta test here is where you would enter your email address as the admin. And then down here, you would add the email addresses of anybody that you wanted to have as a tester, as a beta tester. And so the email address that you provide here needs to be an email address that they're using with their Amazon Echo. So it needs to be an Amazon account. But I will do, as an example, I'll do one to Karthik. And add him. But anybody else, I'll post in the chat a link, like I said, to the here we go, Google form. And then if you want to be a beta tester, I'll add you to this. So there's the link. So anybody that wants to get a beta test invite, I'll do that after the stream today. But you'll be able to enable the skill, and you'll just see how that whole process works. So if you haven't done it before, you'll see what it looks like on the beta test side of it. So that thank you, Ken, for that direction. I was lost. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, we've still got 20 minutes, so let's keep going. Let me look to see if there's any questions for a second, and then we will move on. Okay. All right. Let's keep going. Let's go into using slots. So I'm going to use, because we've got a lot of what the ideas that we had. A lot of the functionality is kind of FAQ-ish. I thought like we could maybe just set up an FAQ within this skill. And actually there is a new skill template that we had been working on. Let me see if it is out there. I think it is. That has some really similar functionality. So I'm going to grab that. Remember from yesterday, ask new template URL skilltemplates.com/templates.json. And it's this one here, this knowledge base starter. And this one has, this is basically an FAQ skill. So I'll show you the code, and then we'll grab some of the code here and merge it into our freeCodeCamp skill. So what's going on here? There's two things I want to show you. The model, first of all. So when we talked quickly day one about slots, I mentioned that slots are kind of parameters. So during a dialogue between the user and the skill, oftentimes the intent is going to need information from the user to fulfill whatever it is that you want to do. And so the information or the parameters that the skill is going to use are called slots. And there's basically two different types of slots. There's built-in slots, and then there's custom slot types. So built-in slots, actually, let me go over here. And we're going to do this using the Ask CLI. I'm not going to change anything in here, but I'm just going to show you in here. So in here, we've got our intents, and we'll just, actually, no, I said I'm not going to do that. And then there's also slots, and there's, if I create a slot here, well, let me go down here and choose add. That way I won't have to add it. So there's two different kinds of slots. There's custom slots, and then there is built-in slots. And the built-in slots, there's slot types. There's a lot of them that that Amazon provides that will do things like provide you with dates and times and numbers. So if it's a common type of information data that you're trying to get to, chances are that there's a slot type for it. So you want to look at what slots are available built in first before you go creating your own. And the one that we're going to use for the Q&A example is going to be a custom one. And the reason that we're going to use a custom one is because we don't know what the values are that the user is going to provide or what type. And so in this knowledge base starter, I've got a custom type that is called question values, and this is what we're gonna use for our example. But let's do this. Let's see. Okay, let's how can we keep this simple as an example? Why don't we just start with a simple example, and then we'll make it more meaningful just to show you. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to create a new handler called, let's see, we'll say hello handler, just to show the slots. And we're going to create a new intent called hello intent. And remember, we need to, when we add a new handler, we need to register it. So down here, export it. And so there's that. And now, what else do we want to do here? So now what we want to do is we want to set up in our model, we want to set up this intent. And in that intent, we're going to, let me copy this. We're going to have a slot, and we're going to prompt the person for their name. So let's do that here. We'll call this hello intent. And we'll give it some examples. Utterances. And just, I'll stub it out first, and then we'll put a slot in there. Get rid of this. say, hello, what is your name? And let's build that and push it out. And we'll test it. Oops. Okay. All right, well, that's building. I'm going to look at the questions, if anybody has any questions or thoughts. Karthik, looks like you got them all. Okay, well, we'll let that build here for a second. How are we doing on time? We got about 10 minutes, so that should give us plenty of time. Okay. All right, so that's all built. So let's test it out just to see if we're getting this this hello intent to fire. Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, open freeCodeCamp.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Hello.
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Steve. And you can see it's not doing anything now because there's it's not waiting for a response, and it is not got a slot in it. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to add a slot that is going to collect the name, and this will be an example of there's one built in for first names, and I'm going to use that one for this example. So go in here into my model, and now I'm going to, copy in the right one. Okay. All right, so now I've added a slot, and the slot is named name, the parameter. So now I can say hello, something like hello, my name is Steve. Well, name. Like that, or hi, I'm name, or maybe just name, like that. And what I want to do is, well, no, let me add the code. So what I want to do is when the user responds, I want to respond with something. Let's see how I'm going to do this. let's go back over here. And what I want to do is I want to grab the value of their name. So I'm going to get that from the handler input. And let's see. So let's get rid of this now. And so what's going on here is I'm setting up this variable name slot here and setting it to the value of the value that's coming over in the JSON, which is in the request that's sent from the Alexa service. And I'll show you that in a second here. And then I'm including that or using that as part of my response back. So now I'm just going to say something like, to test this, let's deploy it. To test it, I'll do something like Alexa Alexa stop. Okay, I've got an error here. Let me go back and fix that. Right, let that finish deploying and then we'll test it out. And I think that is probably as far as we're going to go today. But let me know while this is building if anybody has any questions up to this point. On your question about using or generating code through Skillinator.io, I think that's a really good tool. I haven't used it in a little while, but for creating like just an endpoint that you can use for testing, I think it's pretty awesome. I'm pretty sure it's been updated for the 2.0 SDK, but I haven't looked at it recently. I've used it before though with the 1.0 SDK, and it's a super helpful tool. And there is also, I saw a question from somebody yesterday about generating utterances. I tried to find it. I'll look again before the course is over, but there is a tool out there for generating like utterance patterns. It's like a script, and I can't, I've got the link somewhere. I'll find that, but and post it. But there is one out there. Let's see. So I think we can try this now. We'll see. Alexa, tell freeCodeCamp my name is Steve.
Hello, welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye.
Alexa, tell freeCodeCamp, hello, my name is Steve.
Welcome to the freeCodeCamp skill. I can tell you about recent Medium articles or scheduled live streams. What would you like?
Hello, my name is Steve.
Hello, Steve. It's nice to meet you.
Okay, so the dialogue flow on that's not super smooth. We've got to go back and clean this up so that it makes sense. You wouldn't have somebody just going into the launch and knowing that they could say that their name is Steve. But we'll clean all of that up. And again, I'll push this code out to a GitHub repo tonight so that for anybody that wants it, you can get it. And tomorrow we're going to, let's see what we were going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit more about using slots, just because I kind of crammed it in at the end here and I want to spend a little bit more time on it. And And then we'll get into using custom slots and entity resolution. And this is where I'm going to get into the FAQ functionality. And so we'll look again at the example in the knowledge base starter, and then we're going to incorporate that into here so that the user can get answers to a lot of the idea questions that we got from yesterday. And yeah, and for anybody that filled out the Google form, I'll also send out an invite to test the skill, to beta test the skill. So as we're doing this, you can test it on your own Echo if you want to do that. So that is it for today. If anybody has any questions, I'll stay on and be watching those. Thanks so much for hopping on today, and look forward to hopefully seeing you again tomorrow. Thanks so much.